Hello and welcome back to Beckler Guitars and Repair. So I've had a little bit of deal fever lately. I've been hitting up every garage sale and pawn shop that I come across, and I managed to pick something up pretty special. So let's take a look. Okay, so I walked into this pawn shop and I could see this guitar on the counter. It must have just been brought in. I could see the employee was entering the information into the computer. And under the field where it says paid, I could see that this guy paid $25 for this guitar. So I saw it laying on the counter, and I went up and asked about it, and he said it was just traded in, and it's in rough shape, it needs some work. And I said, okay. I'm like, well, would you take $50 for it? And he said yes. So before I could even get on the wall, I picked it up. And, you know, he mentioned that it might not work at all. It hadn't been tested or anything else like that. And I just told him that I was a guitar tech, so I could probably get it up and running, no problem. And I was just looking for a new project. So anyway, yeah, picked this up for $50 Canadian. And it's pretty cool. Yeah. So yeah, covered in stickers. But this is a pretty rare guitar. So this is a BC Rich NJ series. So this is about a 1984 guitar. This is this model is called the Eagle. So it's a BC Rich shape, yeah, called the Eagle, and this is a Japanese-made guitar. So the NJ actually stands for Nagoya, Japan. So in the 80s, there was a brief time period where BC Riches were made in Japan, and these are pretty sought after. They go for a pretty penny on Reverb, and they're quite collectible, and they're known to be very high quality as well. So yeah, I just kind of got lucky, kind of know a little bit about this guitar when I saw it, and I knew it was definitely worth more than $50. So I've just brought it home. I haven't even plugged it in or anything, so I don't know if anything works. I don't know about the setup. I can see it's covered in stickers. There are a few dings on it. So today we're going to go ahead and take this thing apart, have a look at all the parts, and see what it needs, and fix it up, and yeah, see how it sounds. I'm just going to quickly flip it over. So this is the bolt-on series. This sticker's pretty funny. So yeah, here on the neck plate we can see made in Japan. And we've got the BC Rich machine heads on there. And I think there used to be a serial number sticker that used to be on it, if I can tell by the old research on the listings that I saw. But okay, let's just get on the bench and start taking it apart and see what works, what doesn't, and what it needs. Alright, so we just had a quick look at a couple things. So this guitar is actually set up pretty nicely. I'll get this on film here. You can see the action is actually pretty decent on there. It's not at all high. I quickly ran through all the frets. There's no buzzing or fretting out anywhere. The frets actually look like they're in nice condition, and the relief in the neck's good. So it's actually got a pretty decent setup on there. So whoever was playing it kind of knew how to set it up, or had it set up, or something like that. So the next thing I just want to check is so the playability's there. It's shouldn't be too hard to get up and running that way. But I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in and just see how the pickups are working. Got my Spark Mini here. Kind of keep it at my bench so I can use it for this kind of stuff. Alright, so pickups are working, so that's good. Looks like we've got a volume. And volume for the back pickup. Okay, weird. Okay, so yeah, this volume is for the back pickup, and I'm assuming this pickup is this volume. Yep. So that, I'm not sure it's meant to be like that way, or maybe I have to flip this switch around so it's pointing at the right volume. But anyway, the front pickup is this volume, and the tone's working, and then this pickup is this volume, and we've got a 3-way pickup selector. So okay, great. No issues with it electronically. It's set up decently, it works. I'm going to go ahead and take off all the stickers now, and then we can have a look at the condition of the guitar, because I'm assuming that some of these stickers are hiding a little bit of damage. That's usually how it goes, although sometimes it's just stickers. So let's go ahead and remove everything and see how much residue is left and what kind of dings and damage is done to the guitar. So yeah, it looks like I've done as best as I can for now. I really hate stickers on guitars. They're such a pain to remove. And then if they've been on there a long time, you'll see faded parts of the finish that you can't really fix because the sunlight's been hitting that part of the finish and not that other part, so you have two different color differences. That doesn't seem to be the case with this guitar, but the person who put these stickers on, there's a lot of low quality stickers that just fall apart when you try to take them off. And then, so this is all just, it needs to be removed. There's a whole bunch of residue underneath that's really hard to get off. Like this is an old sticker that's been removed with a bunch of residue. So we're going to have to use Goo Gone and a lot of patience to get this all off. So don't put stickers on your guitars unless you're going to leave it on forever and not sell it. Or if you do use stickers, make sure they're really high quality stickers so they're easy to get off and don't just disintegrate when you try to touch them like this one. So yeah, this is going to be a lot of work to remove all the residue and the rest of the stickers. And it's going to take I usually use Glue Gone. This is a poly finish, so it should be fine for that. But anyway, we're going to do that later. And for now, we're going to have to take a look at the parts and check out the pickups and the neck cavity and see what we're working with here. Here's a look at the bridge, which is pretty cool. So it's BC Rich branded, patent applied for, so I guess they did apply for a patent for this style of bridge. But it's kind of like a stop bar mixed with a tunematic. So you put your strings in the end like a stop bar, but you've also got these adjustable saddles right here, so you can mess with your intonation as well as your height. They do have little screws there that you can adjust with an Allen key. So it's kind of like a stop bar and a tunematic bridge all rolled into one. It's pretty heavy. It's a big chunk of metal, but yeah, it's pretty cool. And you can also adjust the posts here. They have post screws here, so you can really dial in your intonation even by moving the bridge itself further apart from the posts. Cool. All right, so let's have a look at the pickups. Our bridge pickup, and we can see it's Goto branded, so that makes sense because Goto was used in a lot of the Japanese guitars in the 80s for parts and whatnot. So if it was a Japanese factory, it's highly likely that they'd be using Goto you know, pickups and parts. And doing a little bit more research, yes, these guitars did come with Godot, so there's likely a set of Godot's in here. And then the neck pickup looks a little different. I don't know if it's been swapped or not. Oh yeah, it's not a Godot, and there is some writing on there. It's hard to see. One sec here. Oh. Cool. Alright, so, okay, this is an Ibanez Super 58 humbucker. So these are actually pretty sought after. This is an expensive pickup. I think the last time I saw these for sale on Reverb, they were going for around, you know, $200 to $300 Canadian a pickup. And if this is like a 80s, 70s one, I believe that's correct, judging by the engraving on the back. Yeah, this is cool. Yeah, this is quite an expensive pickup, actually. Yeah, that's cool. It's not original, so I'm not sure if that'll hurt the value of the guitar, but I mean, this pickup is, you know, a lot more sought after than just the regular Godot's that would be in here. So if anything, I would say it would increase the value. You could always swap this out with an original too. You could just find one on eBay and then swap this out and sell it separately. But that's cool. I'm excited to see how that one sounds. And then our routes here look nice and clean. This is a bolt-on neck, so there's no long tenon or anything. But yeah, the routes look how you'd expect them to, and decently clean. Alright, let's check out the back cavity now. Alright, here's a look at our back cavity. So yeah, the route looks nice. And they're using full-size pots. They're unbranded. They don't have any pot codes on them or anything. It looks like a decent quality three-way switch as well. And there's that using that green capacitor that you see in a lot of like Japanese older guitars. For that one pickup that's swapped, you can see that there's a little bit of soldering there that doesn't look quite factory. So yeah, it looks like that one Godot was swapped for that Super 58 Ibanez, but everything else looks factory original. And yeah, our output jack looks like it's in good shape too. Okay, I had the neck pocket off just to have a look. There are no marks on the neck at all. Sometimes they'll have like a date or a serial number or something like that on some guitars, but not this one. It's just blank, and it's the same on the neck pocket. What is nice though is there's no shims or anything else like that. Sometimes if they're not set up very well, or you know, assembled perfectly, you have to put shims in here to get better action for playability, but this is nice and straight. And another thing to note is the neck pocket fits very tightly, so that's really nice. Sometimes even on high-end Fenders there's a lot of slop in there, like they do not fit tightly, but this one you really have to press it in to fit, so that's great. As far as condition goes, it looks like the stickers weren't covering much that wasn't there already. I still don't know because I need to take off all the stickers and all the residue just to make sure, but it looks like we've just got a couple, you know, finish chips on the sides and here a little on the horn, and exposing some of the wood. There's another one there, just kind of all around the perimeter. And yeah, nothing too major, but they're there. There is a way to fill those. I just have to check to see if I have the right colored lacquer. This is kind of a really bright candy apple red kind of style, and if you don't match the color perfectly on this kind of a color, it really stands out. So any color differences you're really going to be able to see. So I might leave it for now until I find some paint that'll work, or some lacquer. But yeah, now I'm going to go ahead and take off all of the residue off of everything and clean it all up with the Goo Gone and see how it looks. Okay, that was a lot of work, but with enough Goo Gone and elbow grease, we managed to get it all off. So here's a look now. So yeah, the stickers weren't covering any damage or anything. They were just put on there because someone likes stickers. But yeah, all the residue's gone now. All the stickers are gone, and it's looking pretty good. And I just want to show off the fretboard because it's really nice rosewood. It's that nice dark streaky rosewood that you see on Gibson a lot of the time. So yeah, very nice high quality wood. And it's nice and thick too if you look at the side there. So that's a nice thick rosewood fingerboard with very nice grain. And our frets are in really nice shape too. No pitting or divots. It's just nice shape. We got a bone nut here, which is nice. And let's have a look at our headstock. Headstock's in nice shape. No scratches or dings anywhere. And they used really nice mother of pearl. This is real mother of pearl inlay for the BC Rich. And then yeah, our truss rod is very similar to like a Gibson. So it's got the nut on the end, and actually a Gibson tool will fit it as well. And it's seems to be nice and responsive as well. And let's take a look at the back. The big KFC sticker is gone now, and yeah, it wasn't hiding any damage in the back either. So cool. Our neck's in really good shape too. No scratches or dings anywhere. A lot of people hate when there's you know, the neck is marked up because you can feel it in your hands, and this isn't the case. Nice and clean. And there's a look at our tuners, BC Rich. Another thing, there was a sticker here that was covering the serial number. So we do have our serial number as well, which is a B3058. And yeah, headstock is in nice shape in the back as well. Alright, so I've decided to repair the dings. So what I've done is I used my Mix-All. These are just little pigments you can mix with anything for repair work kind of stuff. And I mixed a red and a darker red together until I found a pigment that looks very similar to the finish. And then I'm just using a toothpick to apply those to the chips and let it dry. And it seems to be pretty close to the color, maybe like, I don't know, 95% or more. So another good thing about that is it's gonna, you know, seal the cracks and the chips so no other moisture can get in and cause more problems. So it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be a lot better than what it was, and it's going to look pretty good, I think, by the end. Alright, here we are after all the glue and lacquer has dried. So let's have a quick look here. So I'm just going to show you some of the areas. So yeah, the color match is pretty good. It's not 100% perfect, but definitely looks way better than it did before. And everything's nice and sealed now, so you don't have to worry about moisture getting in and swelling the wood, causing more problems. Yeah, so this part was really bad. This part was all chunked up. But now it looks quite good. And we'll have a quick look at the back here. Oh, the bridge fell off. There's another pretty big area that needed work, and it turned out quite nice. I'm pretty happy with it. And the color did match pretty well. A couple more areas here. So yeah, after removing all of the stickers and fixing the chips, it turned out quite nicely. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to throw it in the fret polisher, fret buffer, get everything nice and shiny. Then I'm going to condition the fingerboard with some lemon oil. And then I'm going to throw some strings on it, some 9 Super Slinkies, and set it up. And we can check the setup. Alright, so yeah, I managed to get a really nice setup on this guitar. It's set up really nicely. The frets are extremely nice and level, so I was able to get really nice and low action with no fretting out anywhere. We're just going to run through the specs really quick. I did a couple measurements. So this is a 24 3/4 scale length, like a Gibson. This is a 24 fret model, so you can actually get 2 full octaves on the fingerboard. And the body, the wood, actually is alder, and the neck is maple, as well as the rosewood fingerboard. The radius is a 12-inch radius, much like a Gibson, and the pitch of the headstock is 14 degrees. Alright, so let's get some more specs here. Weighing in at a very nice and light 7 pounds, so just over 7 pounds. So a 1.636 at the nut, so a pretty narrow neck. And a 2.05 at the 12th. The neck depth at the first fret is a 0.80, and at the 12th, a 0.93. The neck feels pretty narrow and slim. It's pretty fast feeling neck. Feels a little bit like a slim taper C, like a Gibson. Here's a look at our neck profile. It's a pretty standard C. It does flatten a little bit out by the 12th, but it's a pretty standard C profile neck. And here's a look at our pickup reading. So the back pickup, which is the Godot, the bridge is reading on 11.3, and the Super 58 with the Ibanez is measuring a 7.16, and in the middle, a 4.41. Yeah, I was able to get a really nice setup on this guitar. So you can see that there's very little relief in the neck. There's just a tiny little line between the notch straight edge and the fretboard that just shows that the neck is nice and straight, not a lot of relief. And if you're able to get nice low action with a straight neck like that, that means you've got nice level frets. So here we are at the nut, and we can see that when I use the 3rd fret, you can see the string just resting nicely against that 1st fret. So that means it's the nut is cut very nicely, and it's set up nicely with low action here. At the 12th fret, I've got just under 1.5 millimeters at the low E, and a 1 millimeter at the high E. So that's how I like to set up all my guitars, nice and low. And yeah, this one also doesn't fret out or buzz anywhere. Alright, yeah, so not only is the action super low and there's no buzz anywhere or fretting out, there's no hint of buzzing. So you could likely get the action even lower than that. It's already really low, but yeah, this just shows how well the frets were done on this guitar. Also, there's no fret sprout at all. It's super buttery and smooth. So yeah, the fretwork on this guitar is really, really nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. Alright, I'm plugged into the One True King rig. So yeah, that's a blatant 60 cycle hum ripoff of the Princeton rig. But yeah, it's my 65 Deluxe reissue with the Carl's speaker soak attenuator. And right now I've got my amp set at 5, trebles at 4.5, basses at 4.5, reverbs at 2.5. And we're going to start off on clean, go through each of the pickups, and then switch to dirty and see how that sounds. clean sound. Even though these pickups have been swapped, they're extremely well balanced. The back one's got a nice bite, and the top one's really warm and mellow, but also pushes the mids a lot. It's a great sound. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and kick it up with some Overdrive. I'm just gonna hit it with some metal because BC Rich metal, yeah, it sounds great for classic rock and a little bit softer stuff. But I'm gonna throw some high gain on there and just see how it sounds. Final thoughts. This guitar is living proof that you can still find deals in pawn shops. I mean, $50 for this thing is crazy. Now, granted, it did take a bit of work to get it up and running. I mean, it was absolutely covered in stickers, and I did take a big gamble on this when I bought it because I bought it pretty much sight unseen. I didn't know if it worked. I didn't know if there's going to be major problems with it. I didn't know if the pickups were original or if anything was original. So I had to tear it apart and look, but yeah, we got really lucky. This guitar in particular, if you find another one of these NJ BC Rich models from the 80s, jump on it if it's a decent price, because this is a very, very high quality guitar. Just the neck feels great. The frets are super level and super polished and smooth. The fingerboard's thick, nice big rosewood, really nice grain on it, alder body, maple neck. The Goto pickups in them, which I think are stock, sound really great. Like the bridge sounded awesome. This one has a swap pickup. It's a Super 58 Ibanez pickup, which is quite an expensive pickup by itself. It's a Japanese model. It sounds great. These are very well balanced together. You get some nice crunch in the bridge, a little bit more treble, and then nice mids and lows in the neck. So, and the middle position was probably my favorite because it's just a nice mix in between the two. And yeah, high quality electronics, components too, full-size pots. And this thing was pretty dinged up. A lot of chips that went to the wood, but we went ahead and fixed those with some Gorilla Glue and some Mixol. And it actually color matched really nicely. And it's not perfect. You can definitely still see where there were dings, but it's all uniform now and smooth and sealed, which is important so no moisture can get into the wood. The bridge is really cool. I really like this design that has, it's basically like a tune-o-matic and a stop bar built into one. You can adjust the intonation really well. You can adjust the height 2 ways, and it's super easy to restring too. So I really like this bridge. And yeah, the neck pocket fits super nice and tight. No issues there, which is, you know, even Fenders these days have a little bit of an issue with the neck pocket. So this one is really nice and tight. And wow, just a great guitar to play. It's super low, easy to bend, really nice action. The pickups sound great. And it's got a nice bone nut on there as well. The BC Rich branded machine heads, I'm assuming are Goto, because they feel great, and Goto is really well known for having really nice machine heads. The other hardware on this guitar seems to be Goto too, so I'm assuming that these are just rebranded Goto tuners. And yeah, truss rod works great. Gibson style truss, very responsive. And yeah, pretty simple controls, just 2 volumes and a tone. And I really like the shape. It provides nice access up to these higher frets, kind of like a double cutaway. And yeah, it's kind of unique. So yeah, very cool guitar. If you're interested in this one, I'm going to have it up on the Reverb page. And that's going to be it for today. Thanks for tuning in to Beckler Guitars and Repairs. And yeah, make sure you're checking those pawn shops and those garage sales, because you never know what you're going to find. All right, thanks a lot. Have a good day.